Yo, welcome to the Nerdy Soul, where we do shoes and board game reviews. My name is Chris, the Geek in Sneaks, and today we are doing a full nerdy review of Ovation, brought to us by Looking Glass Workshop and Grand Gamers Guild. Thank you so much sending over this copy to review. And in this full review, we'll do a brief how to play, and then we will do a rundown on my thoughts of the overall gameplay and a little bit into the solo mode. I've had a chance to play this game many times, and I'm really excited to bring my thoughts to you for this. Ovation is a game all about being a classical composer. It's got some really cool combinations of mechanics that are some of my favorite mechanics in board games, and it pulls it off in a really cool, unique, and feels like a thematic way, even though it does have some abstractness to it. So let's dive in. Okay, so let's talk about how to play the game Ovation. First off, this game looks really great. Every player is going to have their own player board here. They've got different characters. This one is there, and they're all real composers from the past, and they all correlate to different meeples. What I love about this game is it's got a really good diverse cast of art in it, so it covers a lot of things. But let's briefly go over gameplay so you can understand a little bit about how the game operates. This game is all about engine building, card drafting, and getting some points. So on your turn, you're going to use your player board to manipulate your joy, your sorrow, and your passion, which are these three wooden meeples or wooden tokens. You've got this player icon, and you're going to have music notes as well that you can use at your disposal. So you'll choose to take any one of these four actions. Let's say you choose to go over here to inspiration, and then you can then move up any of these. So in this case, you can move two of the same up two, or you could choose to move two different ones up one, okay? As you're taking these actions, you're going to be using this as resource management to buy new cards. So eventually when you get enough, you might choose to use one of your things to seek fortune here, okay? Which allows you to buy one of these cards. So as you're buying these cards, they all have different actions in the top left that are then going to let you tuck them behind future actions on your player board. So whenever you go over here to seek patronage, you can then use your music notes to take additional actions. It's really neat how you're able to buy cards, tuck them to gain future bonuses. You then refill these certain things. So overall, you've got cards that are going to give you more of your resources, more of your joy, your sorrow, and your passion. You're going to have cards that these are patron cards that are going to allow you to sort of engine build that way. They also can give you points in the future. So these are legacy cards here, where this one in particular is going to give you +2 points for different types of performances that you do, and then -1 for these type of performances that you do. Let's talk about performing. So eventually, over the course of the game, you're going to be taking these really simple actions, building up your inspiration, spending your inspiration to get more fortune, to get patrons, and eventually you will have enough inspiration. Let's say that you had 4 inspiration or 4 sorrow here. You could then choose to perform. This will allow you to take one of the cards up here that matches the resources that you have, and then you can then take or make that performance. So I might choose to perform the violin and voila duo. Okay, this takes 4 sorrow. I'd move my sorrow down to 0, and now I perform that. That will give me 4 points at the end of the game. And this is a sorrow type of concert and a violin type. So if I were to have different sort of people that wanted violins, me to perform violins, I'd get extra points in that way. If I were to have this card, whenever I perform a violin, I were to gain a fortune, or be able to take a fortune action. So when you perform, you get another music note. This music note allows you again to take future bonus actions. So the more of these that you have, the more that you can take on the cards above the cards you have tucked. Eventually, you will have performed enough where you can thus then begin performing your concert music. These are a bit harder to achieve. You will have need to perform chamber music in order to do these. So for instance, in this concert concerto, you will need to have performed a piano, chamber music, plus spend 3 sorrow, 2 joy, and 1 passion in order to perform this, and that's more points. And again, if you perform specific types for the legacies, you get those. And this is what you're gonna do. When you perform, it's really neat. Players can then choose to attend it, which will give you a ticket. These tickets, they kind of set collect. So as you get multiples of the same type, you can spend them for one of those resource types, or you can hold them to the end of the game for 1 point for a pair of tickets that are the same type. We're currently set up for a 2-player game. So in this case, you will put out 2 more of these cards here, which are your Maestro cards, and they are basically in-game scoring, and they trigger the end of the game. So eventually, once there are only 2 of these available left, that will trigger the end of the game. Once you achieve these, you get to claim this. So for instance, this one's use 5 music note tokens on 1 turn. That you do a super combo turn, you get this Maestro, this goes down, and then whoever gets that second one will trigger the end game. So that is how that works. Then at the end of the game, you add up all your points, and there you have it. Okay, now that we've got a little bit of understanding how this game plays, let's dive into the N.E.R.D.Y review. A N.E.R.D.Y review is N.E.R.D.Y, stands for Novelty, Engagement, Replayability, Design, and Yay Factor. Each one of those categories gets a score from 1 to 5. We can also do half points, and then at the end, I give you an overall score. So let's start with the first category, N, which is Novelty. Novelty is how unique the game is. What does it bring to the space? How innovative the gameplay is in general. This also can play into theme. For me, this is going to get a 3.5 out of 5 for a few different reasons, which is a really good score. Ovation is a completely unique theme than what I've really seen in the board game space. And not only does it have a unique theme, but your turns play well into that theme. I like that you've got these 3 resource management categories that play into how you would actually perform music. You know, you're not actually doing these crazy thematic turns in a sense, because it is very much card drafting, action and resource management, and some really good combos. But it feels really cool in a sense that you are doing something with these 3 main core mechanics that work really well together in a very simple gameplay system. And I like how you really can't play the concert music until you've achieved the chamber music. It does feel like you are ramping up in this game. You start out and you do a simple turn, and you're like, I'm just sort of getting resources fast. And instead of having to do that on a huge board, you've got this really unique player board, which every player is going to have one of these. And I just love the look of this. It's really diverse. Honestly, Joseph kind of looks like me. Like this might be me. I might be Joseph in the game, which is really, for me, it's really cool to see that. And this is also a real person, and you get some bio for all these people on the back. We'll talk about that into design. But yes, for me, this brings something unique to the gameplay space, and I'm really impressed with the execution of this combo of all these different mechanics and how well they work together. The next category is E for engagement. Now, this game does have some decent engagement. This will be coming in at a 2.5 for me, in that it does feel very isolated and you're doing your own thing on your own board until people start performing. Then you really get that more engagement. Obviously, there's engagement by me taking a card that you might have wanted. I'm seeing what you're doing, but it does feel pretty neat when I do a performance. Let's say I perform this clarinet duet. You know, I do this, I spend all my sorrow, and I take this performance card, and then I'm like, does anyone want to attend my performance? And you're like, you know what, I will attend that performance. And it's like, great, well, I will get a ticket for you attending that. And then you get to have as many resources that are listed on the card, which is a good benefit. It's positive player interaction. So I really like that. I just wish there was maybe a bit more of it in this game. When I'm playing it, it does feel very much like I'm just kind of doing my own thing. And that does feel similar to the solo mode. It's a really well-designed solo mode. It did take me a couple of solo mode attempts to really get the hang of it. It does feel very beatable, but you can make the solo mode more difficult, which I really appreciate. I don't know if this is a game that I would really enjoy playing that much solo, because one of the more fun things is getting the ticket attendance with your fellow players. That is easily one of the more fun things to ask every time when you start building up your character and your board, and you're doing these combo actions, and you're like, okay, I see you doing your thing, you know. But solo mode, you lose that, and you have your rival, and it's really well designed, but it's not really my favorite way to play this game. So that is E for engagement. Next up is R for replayability. This game has got a ton of replayability. There's so many cards in this game. Like, there's so many. There's obviously some duplicates with the fortune cards. You know, that's a good thing because you need multiples of those. That way people can all get them. But there's so many cards, and honestly, it's really neat to just be able to, if you actually just read the cards, that's a cool thing, because all the cards have fun facts on them, which is just kind of educational. I like that aspect about Ovation, where you can actually just spend some time reading about and learning a little bit, which is really, really fun. And I love a game that gives me some knowledge too, and not just playing it. So really enjoyed that. Also, every character is asymmetric, as I mentioned. So you've got 5 different characters, all with asymmetric abilities up here. So I strictly play as Joseph Balone because he looks like me, but honestly, I would enjoy playing as any of these characters. And it's really neat to see how well thought out each character is. And I'm sure that if you were to read all of their bios, their player abilities would sort of, you know, tie in to each one of their characters. And so I think that's really neat. I love the combos you can do in this game. And so, yeah, for me, replayability is coming in at a 3 for that. It does get a little bit samey, I will say. So I don't know if this is a game that I want to play back to back. So that's why it's only getting a 3 instead of a 4 or 3.5, is because when you get into 3.5 category, it's like, all right, I don't want to play this again. Like, this was fun. Let's play it right now. This one's like, I play it once and say, cool, let's play this like another time. And I definitely want to play it again, but I don't want to play it right away. So really, really well thought out. And it's something that I will definitely like to play with all types of people. Next is D for design, and this is going to be a 4 for me. I think the design of this game is stellar. I think that it is fantastically designed, not only just from a sense of the gameplay, which really ties in, all the hooks are nice, everything's very well intertwined. Once you get going in your engine building, you are going. You could even just mistakenly be doing stuff and be engine building without even realizing that you're doing it. So I think it's very approachable for a lot of people in that way. You feel like you're accomplishing a lot. Not only that, but the game is very diverse in its artwork, which is really important for me. All these characters are real, you know, all of the characters that you play as are real people that have history, and they're diverse. It's got men, women, Black people, Asian people. It's got everyone represented in this game, and I think that's pretty incredible, and a great job with the team, with the artists that did that. So really, really well thought out, and it's a game that I would totally recommend for those reasons. The components are also fantastic. You know, these are pretty standard wooden pieces, but these dual layer player boards are really great. Sometimes with dual layer player boards, they can start warping. 0 warp in this. I mean, really, really stable. And it needs to be that way because you're tucking cards underneath it. So really great production with that. If the cards were linen, then it could start getting up into a 5. You don't really need linen cards. Also, the insert wasn't the best for me. I didn't really particularly care for it. I recycled my paper insert, and I just bagged everything. And to me, that fit way better in the box. But I understand why there was an insert for travel purposes and stuff. So that's why it doesn't get all the way up to a 5 for me, because of those reasons. But highly recommend this game for how well designed it is. The graphic design is fantastic. The fun facts on all the cards is fantastic. So yeah, really big fan. And the box cover is just phenomenal. This is one of the best box covers you're gonna see. I love it. I absolutely love it. Great job. Finally, we have the yay factor. Now, the yay factor in this game is not crazy high, but you get small wins throughout the game. There isn't this big monumental moment at the end where you're like, yes, I did it, I got everything, and you're high-fiving. You just have these small wins throughout the game that feel really satisfying. So for me, it's coming in at a 3 for the yay factor, just because of those small wins, but you're missing those big monumental moments. I get so much joy out of attending someone's concert or someone attending my concert that those are really cool yay moments for me. And it just feels nice to have someone say, yeah, I'd like to attend your concert. Like, I want something for that, and I'm gonna give you something for that. And it's just cool because you've achieved something, right? You've built up your engine. You'll be able to pay for something to go to a concert. You're probably banking a bunch of points because this particular instrument is exactly what your legacy patron wants you to play. They want you to play a flute, and you played the flute at the concert, so you're getting points, and then someone attends your concert, and that's just a really satisfying moment in the game. I wish that there was a really big one. Like, I wish that there was almost a communal concert. That would be crazy cool. But generally, really good moments built in throughout this game. And you're at the end of it, it's just gonna kind of be over, and you'll be like, cool, that was fun. You know, if there was a way to have this really cool moment at the end, that would definitely take it over the notch. But 3 for yay factor, and really, really solid. So overall, this is going to get a nerdy score of 16 out of 25. A really amazing game here, Ovation. I think that it is one that if you're into music, if you grew up playing music or like in band or doing concerts, or if you like going to the theater and you like board games, this is a game that you're gonna like, especially because it's so approachable and it's so well thought out. It's really fun to have on the table. Doesn't take up a ton of table space, but you know, it's cards, it's wooden components. It's a simple production that's well done, well designed, and really good fun. So highly recommend y'all checking out Ovation if you're interested in those kind of categories. As for the solo mode, I would say the solo mode is probably around a 14, 15 for me. I won't get into every detail of the score. It's a little bit less. It's not as fun for me. I don't think I would play the solo mode that often, but if you really like solo modes and a challenge, this is a good solo mode for you, because I found it fairly difficult to beat at first. And then once you got in rhythm, I can do it. So I think this is one that you would really enjoy if you like playing solo, especially if you want to just have a real chill night, read some fun facts, and get on your way. So thank y'all for sticking with me in this review. Let me know if you got a chance to play Ovation, or if you played anything from Looking Glass Workshop or Grand Gamers Guild. Appreciate them sending over this game for me to get a chance to play a lot and review. I'm super appreciative because I really think this is gonna bring a lot. It's gonna fill a space in my collection that doesn't exist, and I don't know ever will. So I appreciate them. Let me know in the comments what are some of your favorite games from this publisher. And you know, let me know what else we want to see in the next nerdy review. So until next time, stay nerdy, keep that soul dirty.